you would have read the question. You want to understand what this question is all about. It is the case where a company sells a cable at a unit cost of 120 per meter, which means no matter how long or how short, he's going to charge you at this rate. Typically, retailers, people who sell things, right, they normally have a way to price their items so that it's easy for the customer to comprehend and calculate themselves. So in this case, this company says 120 per meter. However, you will read in this question that to make the product, the unit cost of making the product is not uniform. In fact, you are told in the question, it is actually at the rate of this amount.
What's the obvious number 6 root x?
It just happened to be 6 root x. Doesn't matter whether it's 6 root x or 6x squared. What it does mean is, this expression tells you what, you know. If your wire is very, very long already, right? If your wire is already very, very long, and to make it longer by 1 meter, it says it charges you at 6 root x dollars per meter. So if your wire is already very long, to make it longer, it's very expensive, you know. You would know this. If you buy a small mirror that you can keep in your bag, the small mirror, let's say you go to Chinatown to buy a small mirror, a portable mirror, small one. I remember my daughter paid $2 for the small mirror that she keeps in her bag. That's very inexpensive, you know. If you buy a bigger mirror for your bathroom, it costs you slightly more, maybe $30. If you buy a big mirror, very big mirror, right? The cost can go up quite quickly, no? Maybe $1,000. Yeah. I do know that big mirrors that people place it next to their dining table it's for aesthetic purpose, right? It can cost you $1,000 or even $2,000. You're saying something, Greg saying something about mirrors, is it?
No, you cover a wall with mirrors, make the space look more open.
Yeah, you're right. Like say the lift. So the mirror cost can go up very quickly. In fact, the very fact that it is bigger, the storage is actually more expensive. It is bigger, transporting a big mirror is also very expensive. Likewise, in the case of making wire, if the wire is very short, to make it longer, I think it's quite okay. When the wire is really very long, to make it longer, what you hear here is you actually pay more per unit cost, okay? Per unit meter. So after reading the question, right? After the question, you must come to this conclusion. You must be able to see that that the rate of change of the cost with respect to the length, the cost fluctuates with respect to the length with an expression of 6 root x. So after reading the question, if C represents the cost of producing the cable, you want to understand that dc dx, the rate of change of the cost per unit length is 6 root x. Now I want you to be mindful of something, no? This was a past AP question. The question ended here. These two sentences, right? They were included in your tutorial to help students conceptualize. Then to make a wire of length L meter, it will therefore be equals to this. You're adding up the cost from beginning to the length of L. So you perform integration. So after reading the question, you must come to this conclusion that it is like that. So once again, you want to know that these two expressions were not part of the question. You have to read, understand, and then you want to be able to write down these two statements. But once you have done so, it becomes quite okay. So with this, let's test it. Yep. Say again. No. The 6 root x represents the rate of change.
But how do we know that from the question? Because it says
It says the cost to produce a portion of cable that is X meters long from the beginning of the cable.
From the start to the end, it's just that.
Yeah, this is already X meter long. You want to produce additional. They say it is.
This portion of the cable, not produce the cable that is X. That will be what you.
You're already X meter long from the start. You want to produce a little bit more. So the idea here is, if you already have a very long wire, to make it longer, you pay more per meter. You know what I mean? So with this in mind, if you do part A, let's hear from Gregory. Part A. How do you think part A is to be done, Gregory? To find profit, right? To find profit, it is what? The revenue. Revenue is how much revenue? Because it's 25 meter long, right? And what is the cost of producing it? To produce the cable, you got to spend this amount of money. Okay, this is how you can find the profit. The revenue minus the investment cost, the cost of making the wire. You can perform the integration yourself, right? And you get the answer. Anyone has answer to offer me? Make it turn. Okay, do you have answer to offer me? Okay, maybe for you to check, okay, I'm going to pull out the answer. We have a teacher's copy with the answer, right? This is chapter 3. There's a teacher's copy. Okay, 2500, 2500. Do you have that? Okay. Then the part B. How do you explain this this diagonal integral? Let's hear from gyro. Okay, so gyro say this is actually the additional cost. Additional cost to lengthen the wire by 5 meters starting from 25 meters. It's true. There's a possibility of another view. Chimaya, do you have a second view? Do you have a second view about this expression?
How much cheaper it will be to cut the cable?
The difference in cost of producing a 30 meters long and a 25. Yeah, it is. So you can write differently. One of it is you see as an incremental cost, and the other one just as a difference of the two.
You always see it as getting cheaper. So you think that you want to buy 30, but then you cut the price.
Okay. Part C. Part C, we have James. James, how do you think part C ought to be done? This is the revenue minus what? Right, minus the cost of production. Okay. So this is actually my profit. So therefore, the profit of making money the profit of making money based on the length of making a length of K. To any business enterprise, they will always be interested to know what is that number that will maximize the profit. That's why you find that sometimes people run a business like the hawker center, right? Up to a certain point, they stop selling the kueh kueh or everything, because they have maxed their profit already. Because they know that anything more than that, right, they will not make. For example, they are not likely to open their shop past 11 p.m. because they know that past 11 p.m., right, they're actually making losses already. Nobody will come and eat anymore. You know what I mean? So these business people, they know. I heard from people who run businesses, they say this thing, of course you say you pay your worker more money, they'll be more diligent, But business people tell me actually it's not the case, because if you pay the worker more than others, right? So the worker earn good money. Then when they reach a certain point that they feel good about it, right? They are reluctant to work harder, They want to enjoy the money that they earn, So they say it won't work, it doesn't work. So they say you must have the number that's just nice, Strike a right balance that you don't pay them, don't underpay them, but do not overpay them to the extent that once they earn enough, they don't feel like doing the overtime for you. It's not. If you are paid, for example, $1,000 for a job that you do today, right? With the $1,000 you have in your pocket, you're unlikely to come back to do the usual job and get paid the usual pay. You're like, say, boss, I'm taking a day leave and I'm enjoying myself. So these people are very clever. So you talk to people who run businesses, they'll tell you, some of the practices they do, why they do that. Yeah.
Unless you are an extremely diligent grinder.
No matter what, once you earn that enough, right, you just feel like enjoying it and you don't come to work. Yeah. Okay, anyway, like in this case,
Unless you like hoard money.
if you're the proprietor of this company, you're interested to know what length of wire should I sell so that I can maximize my profit. Don't you want to know? And let's hear from James. How did you find that out? James says, seeing the profit as a function of K, James says he can potentially plot. And all of you brought a GC here today, isn't it? You can plot the graph of PK against K. If you graph it, right, it will look something like this. You graph it looks something like this. And then you know that this is where you get the maximum.
I factorize it.
So if you you can key in into the graph the integral expression, it will work. You will be able to see a graph plotted for you, and from the graph you can find the maximum profit. So therefore, if you know that number, you will try to sell wire that long. That's why if you go and buy extension cable, right, you always sell extension cable at a certain fixed length, I mean, like 2 meters or 3 meters. Of course, it could also be because this is what customers like, either 2 meters or 3 meters. You are not likely to sell your extension cable that's 0.5 meter long, because number one, nobody will buy.
Extension cable that's 6 cm.
Okay, alternatively, you're more diligent. You don't have to use the graph. You can actually perform a differentiation. And you learn your second theorem that says this becomes, and after performing the differentiation, then you want to equate to 0 to find the local max. And in this case, you find that K is going to be 400. And then your maximum P turns out to be Okay. You can work out the number. If I remember rightly, it's 16,000. Is it this number? Okay. Let me check the answer key again. Oops. Yeah, 16,000. So I remember correctly. No? So what it says here is, if you do a calculation, then I will strive to actually sell my cable at this length. In a minute. So I will sell maybe a cable of length 400 or near, because I know that will maximize my profit. Oh, not bad, no? To sell a cable of 400 meter long, I make 16,000. Right, if you make 16,000 for that one deal, you probably gonna rest for 2 days.
That really is not bad.
Yeah, rest for 2 days.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you pay your worker handsomely, believe me, your worker will not show up on the 3rd day because he doesn't get money anymore. So you have to be very clever, no? So in business, not that you want to be a stingy boss. You want to strike balance, no? Otherwise your worker won't come back to work.
1.6.
Of course, to transport the 4 meter long cable, of course you can coil up, you know. But even coiling up, right, it's very heavy, you know. Especially those cable for transporting electricity from a power station to homes or to a distribution center, right? Those cables, if you roll them up, right, they're still very heavy, you know. You will always use a small lifting device or small crane to actually lift them up. You know, the crane got a long thing, right? What's the name of the long thing? No crane, right? Crane, that long thing. What's it called?
The boom?
If I remember rightly, it's called a jeep. You know, JIB. It's called a jeep. Okay. Personally, I have worked for a company, and my job was to paint the so-called the long thing, the jeep. You know, it looks easy, but it's not, no, because you'll get yourself painted all over, because you have to crawl in to paint the different bars, right? Then you back off a bit, you hit your head. You bend down a bit, you also hit, you know. So it's not easy, you know, it's not the right thing. You know. Right. Okay, that brings us to the end of chapter 3 notes. Let's embark on the tutorial. Oh, I opened the wrong tutorial. Huh. Let me open up the right tutorial. Tutorial 3. Oops. Okay, give me a moment. I did it wrong. Let me do it again. Tutorial 3. Rayson, you recovered totally, yeah. Yesterday, I happened to know someone who had COVID for the 3rd time, you know. Well, quite epic, you know, to have COVID for the 3rd time. My own daughter had it twice. I thought it's good enough already. Someone had it 3 times, you know. So, Rayson, how many times have you? First time. How many people had it 3 times? Anyone here had it 3 times? Oh, so you're strong, you know. You got very strong body resistance.
Either that or it's just extremely careful. Like,
maybe you already had it without knowing it. Asymptomatic. Okay, let's go on to tutorial 3. I am also sure that all of you have finished tutorial 3.1 and point 2.
yeah.
Say yes. So I'm going around to check, you know. Can you briefly pull out your tutorial and show me that you've done it, you know? You wrote on the digital copy. Sustainability, yeah. Okay, let me go around to see that you've done your tutorial 3.1, 3.2. Come. Kailash, you finish, right? Okay, Kailash. 3.3 we're going to do together.
I also have no good reason to study.
To draw 3.1, 3.2.
I spent an entire hour just going round and round in circles to figure out what I'm supposed to use for IDT.
Nice handwriting, good. Oh, that's a bit clever. It's a shitty but it's clever. Okay, in your work.
3.1 is 3.2 and then 3.1.
Okay, good. Qing Hui, 3.1, 3.2. I didn't expect this from you, Tom. I wasn't expecting this. Class. Okay, just as a show of hands, who have already completed my HBL work? HBL, you know, which is 3.1, 3.2 tutorial.
I completed it.
Yeah, as long as I complete it. Yes. Okay, so there's still having quite a lot of you. Wait, let me press on with tutorial 3 first. In tutorial 3, the first question, you're asked to find the volume generated by this region. Because 3.3 got no video, no. Only 3.1, 3.2 has a lesson video. Okay, which I push out to you, for the HBL task. Okay, let's do 3.3 tutorial. 3.3 number 1. When this is rotated about x-axis, let's hear from Jethro. How to define this volume about the x-axis? Pi and then okay. I'm sure you know this formula. And if you have a GDC with you now, could you pull it out and go through the exercise of pressing buttons to get the answer? No? I'm sure you have. Ting Hui, you done it,
Mr. Lim, I think the upper bound will be 0.
I was just testing your eyesight. What do you see?
Yeah.
It's 0, no, right? What do you see?
I'm sorry, I was just seeing things.
Right. Can you now pull a calculator and try to press the buttons? You have to get used to it. If you don't do it now, then come the exam, you just find that your hands don't move, can't move. You have to move your fingers. Test it. For a common test this Friday.
He's spending 5 hours practicing with the ABCD keyboard.
This Friday, common test, but no GC, no calculators. It is this Friday, you know. You know what time is the common test?
What?
What time is the common test?
Chapter 1
and 2.
What?
Yes, whole chapter 1 and 2. What time is the CT?
Wait, what? Bro. My GC stayed on since last time.
What time is the test? Anybody knows the contest time? This Friday?
It's in the morning.
I don't have all the cards. You know.
It's in the morning.
Whoa! Can you press the buttons on calculator to make sure you get the answer? Let me hear from you the answer. There's an answer key beneath.
8 pi over 35.
Let's see, 8 pi over 35 is right. Does the calculator show as 8 pi over 35?
Yes, it does.
Wow. If the units are not given, units, right. Okay, question number 2. It is good to draw this graph, you know. This graph will look like this.
X1 equals, oh my god,
xy equals 2 is a graph that looks like this. from 1 and 3. Right.
Proper the fraction thing.
So to find the volume about the x-axis, okay, class, you must really do the tutorial, no? The 3.3.2, you got a video to help you, no? Especially 3.2 is quite tedious. So you have to try, and then you can watch the video to get you, no? You have to do it, alright, you have to do it.
I spent one entire hour on tutorial 3.2 question 4 because I couldn't figure out what I was supposed to differentiate and I couldn't figure out what I was supposed to use to integrate for the IPP. I spent 1 hour like trying different
ways.
Yeah.
Okay, this one is pi integration from 1 to 3, 2 over x squared dx.
Okay, time to.
And again, you can try the buttons on the calculator.
Time to GC button mashing again. More GC button mashing.
Yen, are you doing math? Not Yen. Yeah, Yen, are you doing math? The notes you're holding up doesn't look math. What happened? There's video, isn't it? There's video for you to fill in the.
No, I don't know how to this one not working for me.
The link don't work for you.
Yeah, like
It's YouTube, no?
so like the tutorial, like the chapter 3 link is also like
Really? I am surprised. Let me just try and see, you know. The link don't work. Anyone had problem clicking on the video link and it don't work? I am surprised that it doesn't work, you know.
It works for me.
Yeah, it works for Kailash, unless maybe the setting on laptop has some problem, you know.
They have 72 views.
Yeah, so I think Kailash has just verified that it works. Really, yeah. Doesn't work for you, what? Okay. You send me the link, I try myself, just that particular link that doesn't work. Can you copy and just drop the class WhatsApp? I'll click on it myself. Okay, for question 2, do you all get the answer? Question 2 was the answer? Question 2, 8 pi over 3, do you see? Okay, 8 pi over 3, yeah? Okay, this 8 pi over 3. And again, no units are given. Okay, then number 3, right? You're asked to find the area of R. So to find this area, right, it is an integration from 0 to A. What is it again? Square root of 4A A minus X. And interestingly, your calculator can do it, you know. Your calculator can get this in terms of A. You should key and see, you know, the area. You must try. Ting Hui obviously not trying. Can't be, that's more. Can't be. Let's see your GC on the phone.
Get through. Get through.
Tired. My daughter told me this thing one day, you know. She says CCA ought not be compulsory. Then I asked her why. You see, in school, right? Teacher will say, please do your work, and then teacher will scold the student for not doing the work. But she said the problem is when they give homework today, they expect tomorrow. But today, for example, in the CCA, right? She say it finishes off at 6 p.m.
Yeah, then after
By time you get home, it's about 7. You wash up, eat, done up, it's about 8 or 8:30, depending on how fast. Then by the time you start work,
then you're really like tired.
you're quite tired. And then dad and mom will tell him, say, sleep at 10 o'clock at the most. Then he say, you have no time to do homework. Then next day go to school, they get scolding. Then he say, it's actually the fault of, she say, okay, the fault of MOE.
Destroy it. Destroy it.
Yes, Kailash. You got answer, is it? In terms of A, right? Quite nice, right? So this calculator is very powerful, no? You can do integral, and the answer is in terms of A. Apparently, for her school, right? For dance, right? Is 3 times a week.
Oh my god.
And each time is 3 to 6.
Bruh.
Yeah, 3 to 6. Okay. 3 part 1, we are done. 3 part 2. Three part 2, right? It'll be like this. Pi 0 to a y square. And once again, if you have your GC with you, now when you use the GC, you go very careful, no? The GC requires you to put a times here. You can put a times. If you don't put a times there, right? The GC will not function, you know. Yeah, you must put times. And also, the GC automatically creates a bracket for the integrand. You know, you must key your integrand within that GC brackets, you know. It's automatically there. Now we want to find the Vy, the volume when it's rotated about the y-axis. To find the volume about the y-axis, there's going to be pi. You have to know that this number here is actually 2a. This number here is actually 2a. So integrate from 0 to 2a, and then you want to make x the subject. X as subject will become a minus y square over 4a and square dy. And once again, if you are not prepared to do the expansion and integration, you can just use a calculator. The A-level students' GC is not as powerful as yours, you know. The A-level students use TI-84, which is not as powerful as yours, you know. Huh? Really? Okay, so can you please try to press the buttons on the calculators to make sure that you know how to use it, you know? So Yutong, why didn't you do tutorial? I'm just curious. Yeah, you dawned on me as someone who was well ahead. Oh, yeah. Oh, okay. This one is bio. Okay.
Because bio there's a lot of content.
Yeah, bio has a lot of thing to
There's
memorize.
many lessons.
Actually, the day will come out where we can put in chips in our brain, and then you don't memorize it.
No way.
The whole dictionary, the whole bio textbook is in the brain, you know. One day will come.
Not that far away.
Not that far away, right? So therefore, everybody will be students of MIT, Carnegie Mellon, Oxford, Cambridge, because we all have that chip in our brain.
No, but who needs to go to university?
Wow. You're right.
Like, what's the point anymore?
American University.
American University.
Ethan, you try not? On the correct. Out the window. I said a few times last week, you know, bring a. Everybody, please bring your GC to class for math every day. Okay, you must make sure it's charged, you know, completely.
I agree.
But if you don't have GC with you, can do it by hand, you know. You can just do it by hand. Just expand and do it by hand.
Do it by hand.
Oh.
If you're ready, you can do it question 4.
Oh no, I forgot the square root. No. Skull emoji. No. I forgot the square root. Ew, what is that?
Can y'all at least write down the integral for number 4 first? The integral for number 4. Then we compare. To find the volume when this region is rotated about the x-axis. Is it true that in the lower year, you're using the same tutorial? Yeah. Similar. Okay. This tutorial were lifted up from the year 4 notes, you know. Not my creation, you know. You don't remember doing this question, is it? It used to be, I think you learned in year 4, right? This topic. Yeah. Okay. Let's find the volume about the x-axis. Okay. Rotated of x-axis, the volume will be pi integral from. Okay. You need to find those coordinates. What is this? It's written there, isn't it? You can see it. Okay. Aditi is written somewhere there. You can see. I make it big for you to see it now.
Oh, the equations are there.
The pi over 3 is written there, you know, in the notes. You look carefully.
Yeah,
It's in the notes. No, pi over 3 is in the notes. But otherwise, you can just work it out on your own, you know.
No, I didn't see the sign X and sign 2X. I'm like, what?
Really? Plus pi. So Raisin, you're going to wait until CT is over, then start doing, is it, Raisin? But you try just follow as much as you can, I know. Yeah, right. Then if you want to, you can use the GDC to help you, you know. If not, I can do it by hand. Like, you can either use GC to do it for you or do it by hand. We all know how to integrate sine square, right? Zhen Hong, you know. You know how to integrate sine squares? Yes or no? How do you integrate sine square, do you remember? Change it to double angle. Yeah, double angle. So you can use GC to help you know to escalate the process. You must really try, you know, because class, I have in the past students tell me they do not know how to key in this, you know. On the GC, you must key in as like that, you know.
Yeah, you sign the bracket, then square outside.
Yeah. Or sine 2x. You got very careful with the use of GC, you know. You must understand how GC operates.
Because the GC is very
Yep.
sensitive.
If you have not had an ARP, right, you can do an ARP to study how you can ease the traffic jam in the checkpoint. You you'll make a fortune. The traffic jam at the causeway. Singapore's. Personally, as a user of the causeway, right, I find that I don't know why they got about 15 booths, right, but you open 20 booths only. I don't know why. I think that's the reason why the jam,
Lack of staff, so it's understaffed.
All they need to do is.
Because all the staff will be too well then they left.
You're right. You're right. They refuse to work overtime. Solve what?
What do you like solve the equation?
Integrate or solve the for the pi 3 pi over 3, right? Okay, to solve the equation, right? You equate sine x to 2 sine x cos x. You know what I'm saying? Then your sine x is either equals to 0 or your cos x is equals to half. So x is equals to pi over 3 from here. This gives you x equals to 0 or pi.
Like the solve.
You got answer, is it? Oh, okay. You got answer. Yu Tong say doesn't work. Let me see. Oh, it also doesn't work. You came wrongly, no? The equation must come first, comma x comes second.
Yeah, that's what I did.
No, your comma x is first.
No, for the previous one.
You're talking about this one, this one, or this one?
Yeah,
The- This one, this one, is it? You keyed wrongly, eh? Yeah.
Is GC.
Can you try to use the calculator? No, you want to practice using calculator here. Yo. Moment,
So what I can
You try enter and see.
Oh, you need to put that way.
Yeah. Anyway, your equation king only the comma x is after the equation.
What I did, I thought.
Yu Tong says you could have solved this equation using the calculator, no, you do it by hand, no, she says. It's true. She showed me, no. On the GC, she managed to solve this equation. Yo. You can bring all over and factorize out the sine x, right? After factorizing sine x, now 1, you know. After factorizing the sine x, it becomes 2 cos x minus 1.
This is the equation, it's not the
Okay, so number 4, with the help of the GC, it becomes
4 pi squared minus 3 pi over 16.
wow. Okay, number 4 answer is beneath, right? Number 4 answer. Okay, wow, it's quite a big to quite a fair bit. So that's the number 4 answer.
I think it'd be a bit neater if they express it as a single fraction. Then it would look a bit less.
Less complicated. Yep. Okay. It's in the solution is there in the book, you know. Ting Hui is right beneath. Yep. Funny, the answer key is in the notes, you know. It's the tutorial itself.
Just destroying the thing, right? GC delete everything.
So once I've done number 4, can you try number 5? And class, tomorrow we'll start with chapter 4, no? Right. Okay, let's do number 5.
Perpendicular to y-axis. Where?
So for this number 5, it is good to draw the graph. It is like that. This is y equals to root x.
So x is equal to y squared.
And then there's the line here, y equals to 2. The region they are talking about, therefore, ought to be here. And I told you before, no? Ivan, what did I say before? Okay, what did I say before, Ivan? When it's perpendicular to the y-axis, it will always be a dy. And this time is integrating from 0 to 2. And now because it is a square, the length of the square is what? What is the length of the square? They say it is perpendicular to the y-axis, so imagine if you draw a line like that. And this line will be the length of one side of the square. How do you find this length? This length will be actually x, why not? Will be actually x. So the area of the square is simply x squared. Okay. Imagine this line. It goes goes upside, then come down again. It forms a square. So the length of the square is simply x. So therefore, to find the volume formed from these squares, I will now integrate from 0 to 2. X is actually just x squared is just y to power what?
Oh, y square, then after square again.
Right.
Oh, can't you just express dy?
Cannot. You cannot just simply change the dy as dx. You can't do that.
No, as in like.
No, they are expressing
You are trying to integrate with respect to y, this variable. You can't. You have to change it back. You have to change it to be in terms of y. Aditi, the limits are all in y. You're going to change the dy into dx, right? You're going to change it as dy dx times dx, and then you're going to change the limits also.
Oh.
Yeah. Because the limits there from 0 to 2 are for the y. You who don't want to do that, it doesn't make good reason to do like that. So if you are doing it yourself, this will give you 32 over 5.
Yeah.
That's actually number 5.
That's quite good.
Bro. What is this?
Okay, for number 6, right?
Bro, rip my calculator setting.
The calculator will show you a graph. If you are too lazy to sketch a graph, hey. You look like this. You look like this. Okay? And then you're talking about bounded by the x-axis, the y-axis, and the line x equals to 1. X equals 1 is here.
The area of the triangle is half 80 times C.
Yes.
Oh, I forgot the half.
Okay, for number 6A is quite straightforward. When it's rotated about the x-axis, we all know how, right? So for A, the volume about the x-axis is going to be integration from 0 to 1 e to the power of x squared dx. So you can use your GDC to do it, you can't do it by hand. Okay, for 6B, right? For 6B. Okay, I have to do it, As in, I have to invite Ting Hui to write on the board. If Ting Hui can do 6B on the board, just an integral expression, I believe you.
Huh?
Yeah, 6B.
I don't believe myself.
You just bring the book. Write down the integration expression very bigly. Come, try.
It's not that hard, really.
No, but
We have faith in you. 加油. Okay, can you all try 6B? All try 6B, and then we compare our integral with what Ting Hui is going to write on the board. Kai Ta, are you doing it 6B? Can everybody try 6B? You must try and then you compare with Ting Hui's. If Ting Hui can't do 6B on the board, right, then forever she cannot turn her head back. She has to only do math. Aditi, you obviously tried. I know. Trying to do 6B.
I am trying right now.
Trying my best.
Greg, are you doing 6B? You finish 6B, yeah? Okay. 6B is start off by writing down the integral expression first. But need 6B, are you trying? Okay. Bear in mind that because it is perpendicular to the x-axis, bear in mind that because it is dx, okay, it's going to be dx.
Oh, never mind. I think I got it.
You think got it now? Okay.
Nice answer.
Tiny little crap here. Oh, my handwriting is bad.
No, because it's dx, right? So the values must be x values. Yan, you're obviously trying. To who? Take it back from him and give a slap, for not following the class.
Okay, I think you read it.
Okay, let me help you a bit. There's half. Because the area of triangle, remember the area of triangle? Okay, you have to time Ting Hui. You all have written your expression. We are going to compare with Ting Hui shortly.
I just use Pythagoras.
What?
One.
Okay. Please write down. Yitong, you're not writing down. Let me take a look. Huh?
What's the area of the equation triangle based
No.
It's right. It's right, right? It's right.
Naive.
No, I thought he is here. It's right.
Why is it ringing again?
Okay, Ting Hui, go back to your seat. Ex square holding square is what?
E2x.
Yeah, what do you write?
Yeah, that's what
I
I
see.
said. That's what I wrote.
I thought you wrote something else. You wrote x square, did you?
Oh, wait. No, I still got it right, but I fucked it wrong. I wrote it wrong, but I knew it was 2x.
Okay, so Ting Hui will forever not turn back from henceforth. Okay, because the length of each triangle is y, and each y is actually e to the x square.
Oh.
So that was number 6. Who got it wrong? Chen Hui, you got it or not? Let me take a look. Where?
Nice. Let's go.
Yep. Okay, let's do number 7. You realize to do area and volume thinking, right? It is always good to have a sketch of a graph, And luckily, the graph given to us are quite trivial. This graph looks like this. This y equals to root x. Y equals to, and x equals to 2. So the region they're talking about is obviously here. Okay, this is the region they're talking about. And I am quite sure that all of you will be able to detect that this value where they meet is actually 1.
That's right.
And because that is right, Ethan will tell us how to find A, the area.
I'm not sure.
I'm sure you are. Integrating from 1 to 2, go on. The graph on top minus the graph below. And once again, you can use the GC to help you. Apparently, this B is non-trivial, no? This B is non-trivial. In case you can't see the graph, so now this question gets harder because if I read the question correctly, it says it will be rotating about which line? About the line x equals to 2. So now you're finding the volume about this green line. Martin, what's the story Viresh is telling you?
Something about how 1997, right? This Chinese man, I forgot his name. You don't want to know.
He's talking about June 4, 1980.
What about June? What about it? Make what? Make a June.
No, they're talking about June 4, 1984.
I think of bio.
Bio. Okay.
June 4, 1984.
Okay, class, to find the volume about the line x plus 2, this question is non-trivial. You have to break into two parts. Okay. Shh. Daewon, your turn now. Come to the board and write down the integral expression for part. Okay. If you can do it right, you can continue the story later on, you know. Erase off this one and write big B, your version for the part B. Erase off and write bigly for part B.
That's not the one can we like integrate by like manually?
Cannot. Analytically cannot. For this question, you have to obviously do it slowly. Pi. Okay, you need pi. You need to integrate from half to 1. Okay. And then you got to integrate later on. You have to chop into two parts.
Yes, I've already done that.
Simi. From Say, Grayson. Speak. Right, so Chen Hui has filled in the limits. Now it is the best part of the question. Taehoon, if you cannot write down correctly, your seat will be shifted next to me. Because he keep telling people story about K-pop lah. Oh, okay. My daughter is a fan of K-pop, you know. She even told me she wants to be a K-pop dancer. She even can tell me, you must be very, very good. Yeah, she must be very good to be a K-pop dancer. You must go for audition and go through selection, and then the company will take you in, and then she say you become very famous. Very funny. She's very funny.
Oh my god, ew, this answer is disgusting.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Okay. You're right. Another one. You're getting there. You're right. Brilliant. Go back and continue your story. Let's go. Okay, the theory goes like this, no? The theory goes like this.
So from y is equal to x, you turn it to y equals to x plus. And then after that, y is 1 over x opposite to y equals 1 over x plus. So you translate it backwards.
Okay, Chris, the crux of it is there. You need to know class. In case you don't know how he got it because of this diagram. Not bad, David. You learn well. Yeah, so make sure you educate Yen, Yen say he is lost.
Yeah, yeah, right.
Are you found, Yen?
Lost and found.
Lost and found. Simi, Chen Hui, say. Okay. If you look carefully, right? The difference of the two axes is actually the radius. You see, the difference of two axes is actually radius. Pi r squared will give you the area of the circle when rotated about this, times the small thickness is the small volume of that laminar disc. Okay, here, look, are you ready? Say typically for h that's like this. For h that's like this, right? The length of this h, right, is actually the difference of the two axes. And then imagine if this h is rotated about the line y equals 1, you get a circle that's like this, where the line y equals 1 is in the center, y1. And then if you times that small thickness, you get the volume of that laminar disc. The small thickness is like delta y. See me? Okay, once again, if I brought this one up, make it back. This distance is actually x2 minus x1. Nice, right? Technology allows me to make the diagram back or small. Yin, do you understand why? Yeah, okay. Very well done, because if you can write down the part B, it means you have a good understanding of the volume form for revolution. Yeah, David has a very good understanding. I'm very good. Simin, you don't understand?
Do you understand what Ian says?
Oh. Wow, I know.
Ask if he understands why he say he understands.
Okay, Ian, see me after class. You have an issue with x and y. Okay, so that resolves the part B. For the case of the part C, are you ready? For part C, right? They say part C, the R is the base or solid. Each cross section is, and it's a rectangle. Okay, Ting Hui, you want to redeem yourself or not?
Next week.
Next week, when you're more awake.
When the next GP comes.
Sure. Because it is perpendicular to the x-axis, it is dx. Now, but this question, you're very careful, you know. This question, right, is a rectangle. Okay, so now it is between 1 to 2, and it is a rectangle. The width. The width on the base is what? The width on the base is root x minus 1 over x. That's the width on the base, and the height is 5 times the width on the base.
So this 5, and the big square. Yeah, like this is different.
Right, this is actually so-called the height. This is on the base. So Hui, you're looking at part C, is it? Okay, so this is 7C. Anybody is lost about on 7C?
I'm still trying to get 7.
Oh, try to look at this diagram, no? This diagram here for 7B.
Today I'm gonna go back and like burn my eyes out on the PLD, trying to revise bio.
Viresh, you finish it, yeah? 7. You lost it entirely, yeah? The whole book. I can sell you a copy. I sell you now.
What's the selling rate?
Okay, depending on his demand, you know. If his demand is very urgent, it'll be higher cost lah.
I sell you for
Something at 6 root x for every CL. For every loss.
Okay, Viresh, I give you a copy, come. Okay. If you need one, do let me know. Okay, that completes number 7. Okay, if you're done with number 7, while people are still figuring out, can the rest of you do number 8? You must do number 8, you know, on your own merit. If number 8 is a standard AP question. Number 8 can leave. If you think you're done with number 7, you can do number 8. If you're stuck with number 7, we can discuss here. Whoever is stuck, you know, you can just march forward. We can discuss together here. Okay, I'll pause here for number 7 for you to catch up. If you have issues with number 7, you come to the board. Come here, I'll help you. Otherwise, you can try number 8. Number 8 is a standard AP question that you want to try. Wow. For a man to do this, I think it's like nearly impossible. Mid-air, split, it's not easy. No. You can do it.
Why suddenly got the
Oh, so you can just mid-air split is not easy. No. It's very hard. For a man to do this, I think it's very hard. Hey, by the way, who are in the choir in the school this class here? You are. You are. Today the one who do the national anthem a bit is a bass, is it? Low, a bit low. Get someone maybe at least an auto, like at least an auto. They lift up the book. But if you sing so low, right? Like no energy. Yeah. Are you all doing number 8? If you're done number 7, instruct. Question, no more bluster. Bluster? 4. Sikap. 8 lah. Okay. Boleh tak? Awak tahu? Okay, pelan-pelan lah, pelan-pelan. Okay. I'm sure you speak Malay too. You cannot.
Don't go to Singapore. Oh my god, it's hard. Don't go to Singapore.
Really? But still hold the Malaysian passport, is it? Okay. Okay, anybody needs number 7 again?
We are all good.
You're good, huh?